All right, school just got out. Plan today, put a hydro in David's car.
Oh yeah.
Here at the Home Depot, ready to get some supplies. Alright guys, so we're here with David.
Hey.
And so we got the stuff for his hydro install. We got a CNC inline cutting brake, 2 pistons on it. I'll show you why in a minute. Got some steel here. We're gonna make some brackets, and then we're at Home Depot getting some hardware and stuff. So what we got here, about to go get a brake line, got some brake fluid.
Yep.
Ready to go. Alright, so we're back in my garage, and I have everything we need here. So let's go over the list. We got some steel here, just some steel bar. It's about that thick. Got a brake line. This is a inverted double flare on each end of the fittings, and it's about, I'd say, 4 feet long. Got some grips. We only need one.
60-inch long.
60 inch. It's pretty long. Then we got in here some hardware just to mount it up to the brackets. It's just like some M7 bolts and stuff. Angle grinder, don't need that, you can use a hacksaw instead, but it's quicker. Got some .3 brake fluid, and then of course we got our CNC hydro brake. This is a dual caliper, but we're gonna convert it to a single caliper. So what we do is we put a bolt in this bottom piston, block it off, run the line out of the top piston, so that when we pull this handle back, it pushes fluid out this, and this is where the fluid goes in. This is an inline hydro Ebrake. These are $140 at our local shop. They're about $160 online. And so all of this together makes it for a total of about $170, which is really cheap for a hydro. It's going in this car today.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I'm excited.
Excited? All right, so we're back here at my messy workbench. Got the grinder here, got the bar. And these are some brackets I made a long time ago. And they work, the holes are good. They're just way too thin, so they bent. You can see the difference in the thicknesses. So basically, I'm just gonna take this, set it up here like this, and just cut the bracket to that size. This is probably about 7 or 8 inches. And basically, it's just to mount the hydro in the tranny tunnel. You can really do it any way you want, but this is how I do it. It's all based on like where you want to mount it. So. Alright, so what are we doing?
Alright, so right now we're taking off the Ebrake.
So we got
to take off 3 bolts over here on this side after taking off the cover.
Yeah, we got the cover right here. And then he's working on these bolts down here. There's one right, I think there's 2 right down here, and then there's one there. And then also there's this cable here. I don't know if you can see it, it's literally right here. And then you just basically detach that and everything will come out. And then the hydro is gonna get mounted using these holes right here, too. So yeah, that's what we're doing.
Alright, so we just took off this little top thing right here that goes on here. So then you can pretty much just take off the Ebrake, and that's out now.
It's Miata.
It's Miata.
Cool. Alright, so David's down here. He's loosening this line here, and this is the right rear passenger side. And basically he's loosening this line up here. And this line runs down along the passenger side frame rail. That's right above me. And there are 4 lines here. Basically, we're gonna take this line that goes in this little block by the rear brakes, and we're gonna route it up into the tranny tunnel and by the shifter. So basically, we're gonna take this from back here, see it dripping all that brake fluid, and we're gonna run it into the car, that line. And then that's gonna go in the back of the hydro, and the new line's gonna run down alongside the car back into that block where that line came from. All right, so basically David is bending the stock brake line that we pulled out of the back down there up and into the tranny tunnel, like up that hole. Make sure you go between the PPF and the side of the car. Yep, just like that. And he's basically just taking that stock line and shoving it up into the car. And that's gonna go into our hydro e-brake. And if you look, should be coming right up into here. Yeah, you can see the line coming up.
Yeah, if you want to grab it.
Yeah, I will. So then we just come in here, reach here, grab that stock line. You gotta keep bending it and shoving it up. All right, so now we bent that brake line up in here. Hydro's gonna bolt up here. This new line actually runs from the brake master cylinder up there, and it runs into the back of the hydro brake right here. So now we're taking our new line, and David's under the car, and he's pulling it down through, and we're basically sending this brand new line. This is the one we just pulled up. We're sending this brand new line back to that stock spot where we pulled this one out of. So maybe just another 6 inches. All right, right there should be good. And then, all right guys, so we're here in the car, got the hydro bolted in. So basically this is just a little piece of metal with 2 holes in it, right here for this bracket. Bolt goes up through into the hydro. There's this long bracket here. Hydro bolts in there again, bolts in up there. So it's basically just 2 bolts in the side of the hydro, 2 pieces of metal, couple holes drilled, and now this thing isn't going anywhere. Nope. Mounted right up to the tranny tunnel. And so now we have the lines that we have to do. So this is your stock line that we pulled out. This is the new line that runs back to the back of the car. And then down here, there is a spot for a, this is where we bought a bolt for this. It's M10 by 1.0 thread. And basically we're just gonna put it in there, put some Teflon tape on it and block it off. This line's gonna go in the back here. Teflon tape that too. Tighten down the bleeder on the top. New line goes in here, and we are good to go. All right, so we Teflon taped this bolt, and now we're screwing it in here. And this is a 17. So basically, we're blocking off this bottom master cylinder, or it's not a master cylinder, this bottom cylinder. And normally when you push the brake forward, it pushes fluid out through here, but we're not using that. We just want to pull back and use this cylinder. So we already got the stock line put in here, all Teflon taped. This is taped, this is taped, this is taped. Got to tighten this up. And then this is our new line here. That's going to go right in the top here after we Teflon tape this and back to that spot and the back of the car that I was talking about. And also make sure to tighten up your bleeder valve up here before you do anything. And that's the wrong size. So yep.
All right, so right now we're gonna hairspray the handle that we're gonna use on the top of my e-brake.
So yeah, you just grab your mom's hairspray, grab your bike grip, spray a bunch in there. Basically what this does is it helps the grip slide on when you're putting it on. Normally you do this for a BMX bike, but obviously we're putting a BMX grip on the e-brake handle here. But basically it helps it slide on like this. And then what happens is when the grip, or when the hairspray finally dries, the grip will be on super solid. So once this dries, it's like really sticky and it'll keep it stuck on there really well. And then you just hammer or shove in the bar end, whatever works. In this case, pushing it in works really well. And there you go. There's your hydro setup.
Sweet.
All right guys, so basically we're under here, got the new line plumbed in. This is up, looking up at the tranny tunnel. Here come the 2 lines. This new one just runs right along here. Got it zip tied to the cluster of them here. Runs down along the car. Zip tied up here too. And then over into that bracket where I'm talking about. You can see the white tape hanging out a little bit. But basically in the stock location, just a little simplified. Then this old one runs right along here. You can see it. Old spot comes up here, and then it goes up into the tunnel. So yeah, you got the lines all tied up, just gotta cut the tails off the zip ties, and we are good to go. Oh, and also this plastic panel that hides your fuel filter, that needs to be screwed back in, basically with the clips. All right guys, so we got the hydro plumbed in, got all the lines tied up, grip is on the hydro, and basically that's it. That's all there is to it. Just one line, hydro, a little bit of hardware, some brackets, and you're done. It's really, really simple. All that's left to do is bleed all the brakes, all 4 corners. And if you can't do that, you probably shouldn't be installing this. So there's that. Basically, that's it for today. We'll let you know how this goes. We have an event this weekend. That's Saturday the 18th or something like that. I think it's the 18th. So stay tuned for footage from that, and we'll have all 3 of our Miatas out there. We got David's white car, Garrett's green, blue, whatever you want to call it, and my black car. So yeah, catch us there.
I don't even know why.